Welcome back to QuickBooks Summary, the channel where we break down the best insights from top-tier books in just a few minutes. Today, we're diving into How Successful People Think. Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life by John C. Maxwell. Get ready for a mind-expanding journey as we unravel the key concepts that can transform the way you approach life and success. If you're ready to boost your mindset, hit that subscribe button and let's jump right into the wisdom-packed pages of this game-changing book. Introduction. Look at the big picture. Get out of your comfort zone. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. Do these sayings sound familiar to you? You are probably tired of hearing it. But there is a reason why these sayings are popular. Always allowing yourself to grow opens up a lot of doors for you. Whether it be in terms of career, social relationships, or personal growth, success is found in changing how you think about almost everything. Meanwhile, having an idle mind will get you nowhere. If you want to be successful, then read on. Lesson 1, cultivate big picture thinking. Being a good thinker will always help you thrive in any job. But it is not only good for career growth, it helps you grow as a person too. A good thinker will always succeed in whatever task he does. Do you want to hear better news? Literally anyone can change their thinking. Even you, before you change your life, there are things you must remember first. Change thinking is not automatic, like a muscle. You need to always exercise your way of thinking for it to be better. You have to put in the work. It will be one of the most difficult things you will have to do. But keep in mind that it will improve your life. That is a guarantee. Cultivating big picture thinking is one way of being a better thinker. Jack Welch, the CEO of General Electric, thought this way. He told his employees that a relationship with a customer is crucial. It is even more important than the sale of an individual product. A good customer relationship means more future purchases. Big picture thinking is broadening your perspective. It does not just focus on the present moment. It focuses on the possible opportunities you can have. Spend time with people who think like this. You will observe that they have a unique way of approaching life. Big picture thinkers have the following traits. Learn continually. They are not content with their current knowledge. They are hungry for more information in whatever form. They are eager to meet new people and go to new places. This excitement for knowledge can be applied in your everyday life. Look at your calendar and to-do list. Which task or day are you most likely to learn something new? You will most likely find at least one. Mentally prepare yourself to pay extra attention to it. Know that it will aid you in your future. Listen intentionally. To be a good thinker, you need to have humility. You do not know a lot of things. This can be changed when you listen intentionally. Hear from the experts since they are experts for a reason. For instance, John C. Maxwell, the author, spoke to about 900 football coaches. He enthusiastically asked them about teamwork, and the coaches were amused by his eagerness to learn. But they all answered his questions. John knew that he had a lot to learn. He grabbed the opportunity to expand his knowledge. Live completely. You are free to do whatever you want, but you only live once. Big picture thinkers want to live a fulfilling life. That is why they always look for opportunities to grow. They want to look back at life and be satisfied with what they accomplished. Being a big picture thinker opens your mind. It develops your empathy for people and the way they think. It is good to listen to people who do not have the same views as you. If you refuse, you will get ignorant and biased. If you are set in your ways, you will never grow. Your perspective will be narrow. Being a big picture thinker also helps you to prioritize. Everyday life can get pretty overwhelming. Sometimes you put your energy into the wrong things. Before you do or react to something, ask yourself a question. Is this worth it in the long run? If yes, then go for it. If not, then you can ignore it. Lesson 2, harness creative thinking. Creative thinking is another way to be a good thinker. Being creative is not necessarily making original ideas. In fact, many great artists were inspired by other people. Original ideas are rare. You take an existing idea and you add your own touch to it. Here are some values that creative thinkers have. They value ideas just like having big picture thinking. Creative thinkers are open-minded. They do not just claim that they are creative. They actively seek for it. You cannot have ideas if you do not value ideas. They explore options. This should not come as a surprise. Creative thinkers are not intimidated by lots of possibilities. They even look for it. It is because possibilities stimulate the imagination. A lot of people have observed that John, the author, liked multiple options. It is because it is a way for him to find the best answer. They embrace ambiguity. This value is closely related to the previous one. Creative thinkers are not scared by uncertainties. Uncertainty means they can explore more possibilities. They can use their imagination to fill in the holes of a plan or story. They do not fear failure. Having lots of possibilities also imply lots of failures. That is why people are scared of thinking creatively. Following old ideas are surely safe, and you do not run the risk of failing. But creative thinkers like to think outside the box. 99 ideas that fail are worth it if that means one idea that will work. So, how do you harness the creative thinker in you? Remove creativity killers. As much as possible, do not limit yourself, especially mentally. Do not say that you are not a creative person. Do not dismiss an idea because it sounds ridiculous or illogical. Most importantly, do not fear failure. You have to believe in yourself and in the creative potential you have. Ask the right questions. Sure, an uncreative mind can identify a wrong answer, but a creative mind can identify the wrong questions. Wrong questions are far worse than wrong answers. The wrong questions shut down the creative path. It does not stimulate your mind to think. The next time you encounter a problem or a task, ask yourself these questions. Why must it be done this way? Is there another way to do this? What issues caused this problem? Why is this important? What happens if I do not do it? With these questions, you are stimulating your mind to get creative. A creative mind can produce lots of good solutions. Spend time with other creative people. Creativity is contagious. So befriend people who are not afraid to explore different possibilities. Have you ever been a part of a good brainstorming session? Did the ideas of other people not inspire you to come up with your own as well? After the session, you must have felt energized. That is what creative thinking does to you. It makes you realize that you do not have to do things in a strict manner. Lesson 3, utilize strategic thinking. Strategic thinking sounds scary, does it not? It makes you think of military settings. It makes you think of war movies. But strategic thinking can easily be applied to your everyday life. What John Maxwell observed was this. People plan their lives day by day. You wake up, you make a to-do list, and you go to work. Some people plan their lives weekly. They consult their calendar, check their appointments, and go to work. What John does is plan his life 40 days at a time. He looks at his schedule and takes note of the days he has to travel. He also adds activities that he and his family can do together. Then, he appoints certain dates according to the projects he has. His way of scheduling is the reason why John has accomplished a lot of things. Strategic thinking helps you become efficient. You will find the most direct path when it comes to your goal. It maximizes your strengths as well. You feeling overwhelmed by a big project, strategic thinking can help break it apart into manageable pieces. When you plan something, step by step, it becomes simple. You would wonder why you were afraid in the first place. Strategic thinking is done in 6 easy steps. First, break down the issue. As mentioned, dividing the task into bite-sized pieces can make it less intimidating. It will also help you do the task more effectively since you can focus more on each step. How you divide a task is up to you. You can do it according to purpose level of responsibility or function. Second, identify the real issues and be objective. Do not rush into solving the problem. Most of the time, the identified problem has more underlying issues. Take the time to find the root of the problem. It is important for you to be objective all throughout this stage. Third, review your resources. How much time do you have? Is your money enough? Do you have the supplies to accomplish your project? What possible liabilities will you encounter? These are questions you must answer. Fourth, develop your plan. John admits that the planning process varies on the complexity of your plan, but he advises that you start with the most obvious step first. For instance, you are planning to relocate to a new building. The first obvious step is to find a general area of the city. This can create momentum in your team. The members will be encouraged to work on the relocation. Fifth, put the right people in the right place. So many things can go wrong if you do not put the right people in the right place. Your strategic planning will be implemented poorly. What happens if you assign a task to the wrong person? You get problems, frustration. So carefully think about each person's capabilities and weaknesses. Sixth, keep repeating the process. Little problems can be solved through discipline, but major issues need strategic thinking. You will need to constantly do these 7 steps. At first, it will not work effortlessly. It is expected since you are still figuring things out. But eventually, being a strategic thinker will come naturally to you. Every obstacle, no matter how big or small, will be solvable to you. Lesson 4, learn from reflective thinking. Society today has prioritized action over thinking. Action brings concrete results. While thinking often does not, John C. Maxwell is not disregarding the power of action, but thinking, especially reflective thinking, brings better results. A reflective thinking gives you a true perspective. After a vacation, John always asks his kids 2 questions. What did they like best? What did they learn from the trip? It was John's way of encouraging his kids to reflect. People often take their experiences for granted. You do not learn from what you experience if you do not reflect. Emotional integrity can also be developed through reflective thinking. When you are in a situation that makes you very emotional, you cannot think. All you can focus on is how you feel. It is not your fault for focusing on your emotions, but your judgment may get clouded from it. Thus, reflective thinking is necessary. Looking back on an emotionally charged experience will give you insight. It will make you see how you could have handled the situation better. This will help you in dealing with similar situations in the future. Another benefit of reflective thinking is that it makes you more certain. Are you a person who always doubts your decisions? Then you need to reflect on it. For every decision you make, give yourself time to think it through. The next time you face an issue, your thought process will be more defined. Soon enough, your intuition will develop. How do you develop reflective thinking? First, give yourself time to reflect. It is an obvious step, but people rarely do it. They say they cannot focus. They say it is boring. But all successful people have time to reflect. If you do not do it, you will never succeed. Second, remove yourself from distraction. Reflection needs peace and quiet, so find a room where you will not be disturbed. Do not bring any kind of gadgets. For John, he finds solitude wherever place he is. He can find it sitting on a rock outside his home. He can find it on a bench at the park. What matters is that you will not be interrupted from your reflection. Third, look at your calendar or journal regularly. Yes, these things could help you plan, but they can also be a reflective thinking tool. Figure out what your thoughts and feelings are for the day. Then write down concrete plans or actions based on your thoughts and feelings. Do you feel overwhelmed with your workload? Maybe you can delegate some of your tasks to a trusted employee. Calendars and journals let you see how you spend your time. It tells you what your priorities are. Then you can reflect if the things you spend your time on are worth it. Will it help you grow as a person? Will it strengthen your ties with your family or friends? Will it help your career? Reflective thinking helps you know these things. Fourth, cement your learning through action. Now that you have reflected, put your thoughts into action. This is crucial since this will literally be the way to changing your life. Have you ever attended a conference that inspired you? You probably listened intently to the speakers. You even took notes. You promised you would work on yourself. But after the conference was done, you did not apply it. Your notes were forgotten. Reflective thinking is useless without concrete action. Always remember that reflecting gives you 3 things. Second, it gives you direction when it comes to the future you want. Third, it helps you grow as a person. Lesson 5, question popular thinking. It is easy to always agree with what other people say or do. If you keep following what your boss says, there won't be a problem. Tradition is comfortable and familiar. If a lot of people believe in it, then it must be right, but not necessarily. Do you remember Copernicus? In his day, people thought that the Earth was the center of the universe. But Copernicus studied the stars and the planets. He proved everyone wrong. The solar system revolved around the popular thinking encourages lies. People are so afraid of being left out that they just agree with the majority. No one wants to feel excluded in a group. Change is also scary. Routine makes you feel safe, but it is not always the best or effective way. Being successful involves challenging tradition. It involves having the courage to tell your boss an inefficient way of working. Unpopular thinking is being a good thinker. To quit popular thinking, you always have to question what you hear. Questioning will come naturally to you eventually. Here are more things you should do. 1, think before you follow. Many people automatically follow others because they are popular. Sometimes a person follows a belief because it is the easiest thing to do. Take John, for example. After the tragedy of September 11, 2001, many people feared going to New York. Flights went down. Crowds were noticeably smaller, but John and his wife used this opportunity to go to New York anyway. They took the opportunity of low-priced plane tickets and lesser tourists. They were not afraid because, after the tragedy, security was at its highest. If John followed popular thinking, he and his wife would not have saved a lot on their New York trip. Unpopular thinking helps you get the best option for yourself. 2, appreciate thinking which is different from your own. Being humble is necessary to be successful. Acknowledge the fact that people will think differently from you. In fact, their thinking will often give you the best outcomes. Do not reject their ways, no matter how contrasting they might be to yours. Expose yourself to people with different backgrounds, whether it be in terms of education, jobs, interests, etc. This will help you in opening up to more different thinking. 3, continually question your own thinking. So you finally manage to break free from popular thinking, you question the norm constantly, and finally you find a way of thinking that suits you. It is easy to just stick to this way of thinking forever. It often works for you even though it is not popular. But if you refuse to change your thinking, you will not grow. You will stick to what you know is safe and predictable. This will result in you missing endless opportunities. Challenge yourself constantly. The future is bright for people who adapt to change. 4, try new things and new ways. Make it a habit to try something new every month. New experiences bring out innovative ideas. Doing something new is not necessarily something extreme. You can slowly introduce change in your routine first. Maybe you can take a new route home, or when you go to a restaurant, take something you have not tasted yet. When you do things over and over again, your mind becomes dull. It does not get motivated anymore to come up with new ideas. That is why new experiences are necessary. It refreshes your perspective. It makes you realize that the familiar and old way is not always the best way. 5, get used to being uncomfortable. Unpopular thinking will always be met with resistance. It is unfamiliar. Unfamiliar will always make other people cautious and hesitant. Base your thinking on what you believe is best. Often, this is not the most popular choice. But go with it anyway. People will question, insult, and ridicule you, but the greatest people in history went through the exact same thing. Their ideas were so scary to people that they were treated as the enemy. These great people shaped humankind today. Someday, your unpopular idea will be praised. Just keep on questioning the status quo. Conclusion. First, you learned that successful people have one thing in common. Aside from being successful, they live differently. They do tasks and face challenges differently from ordinary people. Second, you learned that what makes successful people different is their thinking. They cultivate big picture thinking. This means that they make decisions based on its future implications. Before you do something, ask yourself this: will it help you grow as a person? Third, you learned that being creative is another trait that successful people have. Being creative stimulates your mind. It presents not only the right choice, but the best choice. It pushes you out of your comfort zone because that is where success waits for you. Being creative is being okay with failing 100 times. Fourth, you learn that strategic thinking is a necessity in every task. Strategic thinking helps you become efficient. It makes sure that every step you take is a step towards your goal. Strategic thinking is breaking down the task into bite-sized pieces so that you do not get overwhelmed. Fifth, you learn to look back on what you went through. Reflective thinking helps you become better at decision-making. It encourages you to evaluate a past situation and see if you could have reacted in a different way. Successful people always learn from their mistakes. Sixth, you learned that having an unpopular opinion is necessary. All throughout history, there were people who questioned popular thinking. They went on to become humanity's most influential figures, dare to think outside the box. Again, remember, big picture thinking, creative thinking, strategic thinking, reflective thinking, and thinking outside the box. Try to apply them every day. Now you know how successful people think. Practice the steps and succeed just like them. If you change your thinking, you can change your life. And that's a wrap for today's quick book summary. If you enjoyed this whirlwind tour through How Successful People Think by John C. Maxwell, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell to stay in the loop for more quick and insightful book summaries. Let us know in the comments which book you'd like us to tackle next. And until then, remember, changing your thinking can indeed change your life. Thanks for joining us on Quick Book Summary, your shortcut to a smarter you. I'll see you in the next one. Keep those pages turning.